Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Conversations Live, where we bring you the best in music, books, entertainment, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us. Now, here is your host, Cyrus Webb.
And good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Conversations Live, where we connect you with the artists and authors you love who bring you the music and books you can't get enough of. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. I want to once again thank those joining us here on the radio side of our program, those tuning in through 92.3 FM. We also welcome our good friends joining us online around the world, thanks to blogtalkradio.com, either through our switchboard, our live chat, or our podcast. We're glad to have all of you with us. Have a great hour coming up for you guys today. It's our last primetime edition of the week. It's been a great week here on the program, and if you missed any of our past shows this week, we'll be telling you at the end of the broadcast you can go back and enjoy them through the weekend. We're going to kick off this hour by speaking to author Selena Haskins. She's making her first appearance on the program to talk to us not only about her journey of writing, but what it's been like for her to share the characters and the message of her debut, A River Moves Forward. We're also going to be talking about some of the issues that she addresses and let you guys know how you can get your own copy of the book. Our musical mix is coming from someone who you guys have gotten to know. We're getting ready for our big interview with Chaka Khan in May. Her single, of course, It's Not Over, is so appropriate for our hour today. That will be our musical selection for the first part of our program. And then at the bottom of the hour, I'll be speaking with writer and director Dwayne Wilkerson. He'll be making his first appearance on the show as well to talk to us how he's been able to make what might seem like an impossible situation possible for himself. His message is that he is impossible, that all of us are able to live the impossible, and he's going to share with you how he's been able to do it and how he's helping other people to do the same thing. Two great guests coming up for you guys this hour. Glad you all could join us for the program. As I said, though, to get things kicked off, Selena Haskins is joining us live. Selena, good evening and welcome to Conversations.
Hi, Cyrus. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate this opportunity.
Well, look, we're glad to have you on. I should say congratulations to you. You are the author of A River Moves Forward. We're going to talk a little bit about that in a moment, Selena. But, you know, you already are gearing up for part two. But what has it been like for you already to be able to not only have this book published, but then to be able to share it with the world?
Cyrus, it has been fantastic. I'm so glad that the project is finally finished. You know, it took me 5 years to finally finish writing this book. So wow. I'm glad that the first part is finally over, and I'm glad to actually get it into the hands of readers.
Yeah. Well, the book just released early this year, February, officially released. And like I said, we're going to tell our listeners how they can get their own copy. It's available in print and also Kindle. You know, is this a journey that you ever thought, you know, that you would get to? I talk to people sometimes, Selena, and they feel as though they have stories in them that they just have to tell. Have you always known you wanted to write?
No, not really. I really knew that I wanted to write probably by the time I got to high school. I mean, as a kid growing up, I always had like a vivid imagination, and I was somewhat of a shy kid. So I think for me, writing became like my outlet and my best way of communicating over time. And so by the time I got to high school and, you know, I had my English teacher to ask us to, you know, write different assignments, I could see myself like developing a love for creativity, and through that creativity I started to express myself even more. And so after high school I said, you know what, I really want to be a writer. I really want to write, and so that's what I ended up majoring in school, was journalism and English.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And so now here you are with this book out, Selena, and again, you know, now the world is able to enjoy it. You've already started to get reviews. I actually got my version via Kindle yesterday. I'll be reading it later on this month and sharing my review. You know, now that you're able to hear from readers about a story that you wrote, that you had the time to labor with, talk to us about that experience of being able to see how other people are responding to your words and to characters that you created.
Cyrus, I'm actually surprised because I have been writing, like I said, since high school, and I have a lot of unpublished manuscripts, and those stories I've only shared with my family and some of my closest friends, and I've never done anything about them. Mm-hmm. But for some reason with A River Moves Forward, when I shared it with my family, they said, look, don't just toss that in the box this time. Really try to get this one published. It's just so unique and it's so heartwarming and touching that people could possibly benefit from this. Don't just let it sit there.
Right.
And so I really decided to, push forward and go ahead and publish it.
Yeah, and the result is now available for all of us to read, Selena. Again, Selena Haskins is my guest. We're talking to her about her experience being a published author, what it's been like for her, and she was sharing with us what a pleasure and a joy it's been, and, of course, also to be able to hear from all of you out there who are now able to hear about it. Now, one of the ways that, you and I have been able to communicate, Selena, as well as you've been able to communicate with those readers and also fans is through social media. I have always said on this program that when used responsibly, social media can be a great tool. How has it helped you in getting the word out as an author?
It's been a tremendous help for me. In fact, a lot of people are just familiar with Facebook and Twitter, which is great, but Goodreads is also another great website for authors because you have that opportunity to create groups and be a part of groups. And to have that interchange between, fellow authors to find out, what avenues they may have taken and what may have worked for them. And, it's been kind of twofold for me with getting the encouragement. On the one hand, I enjoy reading the reviews from readers that I've received so far. And then on the other hand, I've had a blast just meeting other authors and really seeing the other talent that's out there and their willingness to share what has been their experiences and what has worked for them. That has really made me feel really good being a part of this author and writer community in itself.
Yeah. I talk a lot on this program because I know what it's personally like. Myself, Selena, I talk a lot about fear. And how really fear, has, the unfortunate thing to be able to paralyze us, to make us feel as though everybody else can do it but you. What do you think you're doing? Who do you think you are? And, and why do you think people want to read this? How were you able to get over that hurdle, or was it ever a hurdle for you? Did you always have the confidence that if you published it, that there would be an audience there?
Well, fear was the thing that held me back for so long. As I mentioned before, I have a lot of unpublished manuscripts, and I never, I can't say I never tried the traditional way of trying to get something published. My first response, of course, was a rejection, so I kind of had to marinate in my wounds a little bit, and I had to get over that. And I didn't know how people would respond moving forward. And so fear does, it causes you to restrain. It does cause you to hold back. And I was very protective of A River Moves Forward, and I was very fearful that perhaps the same rejection would take place. Maybe my reviews would be negative, and maybe how my family felt about it or my friends felt about it was one way, but then to someone who is outside of the box, they feel totally different. So there was definitely a lot of fear there. So I had to get over that and just kind of have confidence that, look, this story is really good, really worth sharing, and regardless of the response, I'm going to try my best to reach my goal and have at least one published book out there.
Yeah. And that book that is out now that you released this year, Selena, is A River Moves Forward. For those who have not had a chance to read it, we're going to be telling you guys how you can get your copy. The main character that we meet is Connie Morris. Let's talk about Connie a little bit, Selena, because I think, she is one of those individuals as people, you hear people say all the time that, nobody has it worse than me, or if anybody has it's bad, it's me. Connie goes through a lot of things, in this book that you're able to give us. She goes through a lot of things that would have broken people, going through, of course, dealing with family issues, going through abuse issues, going through, the feelings of worthlessness, and then, of course, having to basically trek out on your own. How did she develop for you? And I hear all the time that authors, especially in their debut, put a lot of themselves in their first book. How much of yourself do you see in Connie?
I see some of myself in Connie. I think the parts that I can relate to Connie is her timidness. She was a little timid, and I could be that way too, a little bit reserved. But Connie is actually a combination of the different women in my life, whether currently or from the past. She's also certain women's family members, certain friends. She's a combination of their experiences. She's a little bit of their personality. So everything that she goes through, I can think of at least a few people, whether they're related to me or they're a friend now or in the past, that have gone through what Connie experienced. So I just kind of combined everything into one, and I developed Connie Morris in this story. And I think that a lot of women will be able to relate to her because a lot of what she has experienced are life's real experiences, are things that we have all experienced in some way. The other thing is not just Connie's personality is some of who I am, but what she experiences in her career and in her relationship. I will say that's a little bit of me as well, and the rest is just from my own vivid imagination.
Yeah. And because it is your imagination, Selena, do you think that makes it even sweeter for you when people say that they enjoy it because it is something that you were able to create that came from you?
I think it is. And I think that in telling the story of a character who especially goes through various trials and you have them to overcome all those obstacles, although she's a fictional character, it shows people that it can still be done, it can still be achieved in real life. You really can get over these different hurdles you experience in your life, whether it's abuse, failed relationships, with your family or with your romantic relationships gone wrong, or whatever it is, whatever hurdle it is in your life, you can overcome it. There you go. It's a great message, Selena. We're going to be actually reiterating that when we come back. I want you to stay with us. Again, you're listening to Conversations Live. I have the honor of being able to speak to author Selena Haskins. She's making her first appearance here on the program. We're talking to her about her literary journey, but also about her debut, A River Moves Forward. We've talked a little bit about how she got to this point, but also, of course, what it's been like for her to share with all of you. We're going to continue that conversation here in a moment. It's now time for our musical mix today, and again, as I mentioned, it's featuring an artist that I'm going to have the honor of speaking to for the very first time on this program next month. Recording artist Chaka Khan is not just a Grammy Award-winning artist. She's someone that really has paved the way for so many other artists. You hear the saying all the time, often imitated but never duplicated. She's definitely one of those artists. Her new single is It's Not Over, featuring a recent Grammy winner, Lecrae. Here it is, the new single. We'll be back with more Conversations Live and author Selena Haskins.
Problems like you're living on borrowed time. You think that you can solve them, you can still get heaven on the line. I'ma light a candle, show you can handle anything that takes your breath away.
hold on, y'all, it ain't over. And hard times trying to back you down, but you done come too far to start backing out. And you probably got a whole lot of questions, but sometimes not knowing is a blessing. So hold on, pray hard. The sunrise when a new day starts. Don't be afraid. Just lift your heart and walk this way. Believe me, there'll come a day, but not today. No, not today. Come on. No running away. You're not living like that. Let's start now.
There you have It's Not Over by Shaka Khan, featuring recording artist Lecrae here on Conversations Live, 92.3 FM for our radio listeners, but online around the world, thanks to our friends at blogtalkradio.com. I've been speaking with author Selena Haskins. She's been making her first appearance on the program to share with us about her literary journey, but also what is it that led her to write the book A River Moves Forward. We also talked a little bit about the main character that she introduces us to there, Connie Morris, what it was like for her to kind of take us through these situations and to really let her imagination go. So for individuals out there who are listening to this conversation, Selena, what is your hope for them? What is your hope for them as they read your book, A River Moves Forward? What do you hope they take away from the story?
The main thing that I hope that they take away from the story is that in order to move forward, you have to take an honest look at yourself. Some of us are carrying around a lot of baggage from our past that could hinder us from receiving blessings in the present. You know, whether it's a healthy relationship with someone, whether it's a better career choice, we tend to hold on to the things of the past. And I called this book A River Moves Forward because when you think of a river and you're actually looking at a river, it passes over many things that's in the water, from rocks, debris, whatever lies beneath. And those rocks and debris could be obstacles in our lives. But yet, you know what? A river continues to move forward. It continues to push ahead. And that's the message I want to convey to many people out there who are experiencing various trials, to keep pushing ahead like that river. Keep moving forward because you deserve something better. And something better is ahead, but you have to learn to let go of the things that happened to you in the past so you can move forward.
Yeah. You know what? I love what you said about the imagery there with the title. And speaking of imagery, I mean, if having a new book out, not even 2 months, is not pressure enough, you know, it's already been announced, of course, that you are working on the sequel for this book, Riding the Waves. Again, you know, great imagery even in that title. You know, are you feeling the pressure? Because, I had an author actually on the show just yesterday, Selena. I was asking him about the pressure, and he was saying, regardless of what people, say about it, to him, part of the accomplishment is just publishing it. Are you feeling the pressure with the follow-up?
Not really, because to be honest, I've already written the sequel. Okay. It's not ready for publication just yet, but, it's already done. And only doubts or concerns that I may have had is people really want to make sure that the main character, Connie Morris, is still there and that Dean is still there. And I just had to reassure some of my readers that, yes, they will be in the sequel. And, yes, they will have a role in the sequel. But as sequels go, there are other issues and other characters that will be introduced as well. And it's called Riding the Waves because, once again, there will be challenges for these new characters that come into play as well.
Yeah, yes, so that gives us definitely something to look forward to. But for now, the book that is out and is available, of course, for readers, is the book that we've been talking about here, and that is A River Moves Forward. And I think great inspiration just in the title for all of us about, regardless of what may be happening around us, to be able to keep pushing forward, not to go backwards, but to keep pushing forward. Never knowing what is ahead of us. Again, everyone, Selena Haskins has been my guest. Selena, let our listeners know how they can stay in contact with you and, of course, how they can get their copy of the book, A River Moves Forward.
Well, readers are welcome to stay in touch with me. I am on Facebook at Books by Selena, and I'm on Twitter as well, Books by Selena. And I also have an author's website, which is www.booksbyselena.com. You can purchase through my website and receive a personal autographed copy, or you may purchase the book on Amazon or Barnes & Noble, and it's available in paperback, Kindle, or Nook.
All right, so you make it very easy for people to find you, as well as to be able to get the book. Booksbyselena.com again is the website, and of course, Books by Selena is also her Twitter handle as well, so you can stay in contact with her easily there as well. But as she said, if you contact her through the website, you can get an autographed copy of the book, so that's a great incentive there. Again, and that's booksbyselena.com is where they can go for that. Selena, I feel like individuals like you are always able to give some great advice because you've been where so many people just talk about going. You've actually written a book, you published a book, and now it's available for us to be able to read. What advice do you have for aspiring writers about not only being able to, to stick with it, regardless of what that it is, but to make sure that they see it through to the end?
You pretty much said it, sticking with it to the end. I think what happens a lot of times is when you're an artist, whether you're in music, whether you're a writer or an actress or an actor or what have you, sometimes the creativity could get lost in the business side, and you almost have to have two trains of thought. You have to keep your creative mind, and you also have to be business savvy. And striking that balance sometimes can be a challenge, but I would advise writers to always stick to what you love. Don't lose your love for writing, because there's where it started initially in the first place. That's your love. That's what got you to where you are today. Keep writing no matter what happens, no matter what critics say, no matter what type of feedback you get. That's what you enjoy doing. Continue to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I think that's great advice. I think it's great advice, and what's so great about it, Selena, is that that's advice that I think everyone can not only relate to but also find a way to receive. Our next guest is coming up at the bottom of the hour, writer-director Dwayne Wilkerson. He has a similar message, and that is, of course, is not to allow, what other people's limitations might be, not to allow that to be what's said for you. And I think, who knows what you can do, but nobody will ever know if you never put forth the effort and the work. And I think it's great what you've been able to do and what so many others have been able to do, to be able to not only share your gift, but then, of course, to let your gift make room for you. And that is, I think, the ultimate thing. Again, Selena Haskins, everyone. The book is entitled A River Moves Forward. You can find out more information about Selena by going to her website at booksbyselena.com. As I mentioned earlier, that's also her Twitter handle. And then, of course, you can find her on Facebook as well. Go to her website at booksbyselena.com to get an autographed copy of her book. And then, of course, you'll be able to stay in contact with her there as well. Selena, congratulations to you on the book. I'm looking forward to the read myself. Of course, I'll be sharing my review on Amazon. I always invite people who've already read the book to do the same thing. And I hope you'll come back. We'd love to chat with you again.
Oh, I'd love to come back, Cyrus, and I really do appreciate this opportunity that you allowed me to have a share on your show.
Well, look, it's a pleasure for us, Selena, and look forward to, this will not be the last time you and I speak. I'll be seeing you on Facebook and Twitter.
Absolutely. Before you know it, we'll be talking about the sequel.
There you go. Okay, I'm going to hold you to that, all right?
All right.
All right. Then again, everyone, Selena Haskins. Again, the book is entitled A River Moves Forward. Make sure you guys do check it out. Remember, at the bottom of the hour,